Hey guys, your boy Chill here. Welcome back to some more Nginx and Chill. I'm gonna be coming to you guys all by my lonesome today because it's for most of the people it's Christmas when I'm recording this. Although for me it's the 26th, so all my wingmen are probably out doing other stuff. So I'm just gonna fly this one solo. You know it'd be right. And I got some ideas for where I want to take this series. One of the interesting things that I've been thinking of is at some point I'd like to show how to deploy some of this stuff to an actual server on AWS or maybe Heroku or something like that. Some people would probably find that pretty interesting. So, and I've got an idea for maybe a little bit of an application I might want to build. There's actually an application I have to build, and it's not too complicated. So I might even be able to do it on screen sort of thing. Normally a real app that I would try to build would be a little too complicated for that. But yeah, I might be able to have some fun there. But today we're going to be continuing on with what we had before, a little bit of DevOps type stuff. Getting the infrastructure all set up, messing around with that, figuring out how it works. And so we were working with our configuration files for Nginx, and I was playing around. I believe I was playing around with some virtual host settings. You can have different hosts, basically different websites that are assigned different domain names, right? So when someone accesses your machine via domain name A, they'll hit website A, but if they come at you from domain name B, they'll be switched over to website B. That's a very useful thing. So first things first, we've got our Vagrant. Let's spin it up. So I believe it was CD Hobo. Yeah. And Vagrant machine is sleeping right now. It's, believe it's this one here. So we're gonna wake it up. Vagrant up. Get up. It's time to rise and shine. And hopefully this will change from powered off to, yes, starting. There we go. And we'll let that run for a second while I take a little drink. I do a little dance and I drink a little water. So that wasn't too bad, about 20 seconds to spin it up from complete sleeping. By the way, if you want to put a Vagrant, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but if you want to put a Vagrant machine down, you can do it in a much faster way. And that would be no, please don't. Why are you blurry now? Typing in the wrong window. Anyways, you go Vagrant, suspend, and that stops the machine without actually shutting it down. It just basically saves the memory state. And then if you go Vagrant resume, that'll spin it up without doing all this stuff here. So it's usually quite a bit faster to resume than it is to halt and then up. But, it all depends. Yeah, so maybe it's 10 seconds versus 20 seconds different. I don't know. It's this is one of the reasons why people actually like Docker these days, is it tends to be faster to spin up. First build is usually as slow or even slower, but after that, it's faster to spin up, and it doesn't have a separate virtual machine, so it doesn't have its own separate memory. So it's good if your system is low on memory. I've got 32 gigs. I don't worry about that, and it's nice for me to have a completely separate virtual emulated system that I can match exactly to my my target environment. So and for other reasons. Docker doesn't work quite nicely for me. It's probably nicer on a Mac, where you're basically running on a Linux or a Unix based system already. And Windows, there's some issues. I find Vagrant to be very consistent for me. It's the old faithful. Why the hell is this all blurred? What happened here? What is this? How you live? Anyways, doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. We hide this now. We're going to get into our machine. Hacker voice. We're in. Going to burp a little bit. Pizza burp. Costco pizza burp. The best kind. So what do we want to do? I wanted today my sort of tentative goal is to be able to get PHP-fpm up and running and you know, do a little test PHP page, make sure all that works, all hooked up with Nginx. But I want to kind of play around with it. You know, I'm not just gonna go, you know, balls deep in here. This is not a morning quickie. We're gonna do a little foreplay. You know what I'm saying? To put it in the grossest. I could put it in a grosser way if I really tried, but to put it in a somewhat gross way, that's what we're gonna be doing. So, what do I want to do here? I mean, I could go cd etc nginx. Where are we at? So what sites available? CD sites available. Yeah, so we've got our default. Let's just do that. Yeah, we've got our default setup here. It's kind of hard to tell because a lot of this is commented out, but yeah, default server name is _ everything that is not, that does not you know, conform to any of the other virtual hosts is going to fall back to this one, which is going to look for files in var www.html. Yeah, okay. So let's see if we can actually access our server as a start. Don't want to do that. Let's do that. Yeah. So I believe, let's bring up our thing here. Here's our hosts file, and there's nothing weird in my thing. Yeah. Okay. Good. Donkey.fart. So that is this, and I believe this is the address that our machine, our virtual machine, is working with here. So let's let her rip. Donkey.fart. And we're not accessing it, so it could be that the Nginx server isn't running. Maybe I probably didn't configure it to auto start when you boot the machine, which is something you normally want to do. But let's try it out. Let's go sudo service. Oh no, it's there. This took incredibly long time to access. Nginx status. Well, I mean, it's running. And yeah, that makes sense because it's in here. I don't know why it took that long to access it in the first time. Let's try it again. Donkey.fart. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. A little bit of a hiccup there, but that's fine. No, it do be like that sometimes. Now, I wanted to play around a little bit with just these basic settings here, like this location thing. So what can we do with this? Well, this location, what this is saying here is that all addresses that start with a slash, so basically like any address is going to, or any URL is going to match this location. And we're going to try files. We're first going to try whatever URI we pass in. Then we're going to try that URI plus a slash as a directory. And if none of that works, then we're going to send back a 404. Seems fairly straightforward. Now, what we could do here, what do I want to try? Well, first of all, so we can have multiple location directives. And there's rules as to how they're processed. What this is going to do is, so if I do buts, this is interesting, right? Because when you put a location with a URL or whatever you want to call it here, this says anything that starts with a slash. But this one says anything that starts with a slash but buts. So this matches everything. This matches some of the things. So if I were to put in a URL that started with this, it would actually match both of these. So which one does it use? Well, it uses the longest match that it has. So if I were to, let's say anything that starts with buts, we're going to try a file called but.jpg. Wait a second. I'm going to put up a JPEG for this. So my advice to you is don't look up but.jpg on Google. Just, you know, and don't if you do that, don't click the first result that's on Wikipedia. If you think, oh, this is Wikipedia, this is going to be something, nah, don't do it. Well, I mean, do it. Just don't do it like on camera, I guess. Unless that's the kind of content that you're trying to make. Anyways, I digress. So we got but.jpg in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell Nginx, okay, my dude, Where's my thing? Here it is. So anything, any URL that starts with /butts is going to try to redirect to but.jpg in the folder, you know, HTML donkey, whatever. We don't need this. And if but.jpg doesn't exist for some reason, let's return 469. All right. So, and anything else that's not starting with butts will just try to do that thing, try to do that actual URI. Man, I'm so burpy. This pizza makes me burpy. So I guess I have to actually push that configuration. So that's going to be cd var www.html, and then we're going to do /push Nginx. We might have to do that with a sudo. Failed to create, yeah, that's fine, because it already exists. Now, we reload this, it should just work. Now, if we go donkey fart with a slash, that's just the index, no problem. If we do donkey fart / index.html, that's going to be, we just asked for it exactly. If we try something wrong, like index with a D, it's going to say not found. That's good. Now, if we try /butts, I feel like it should have returned an image. Like it should not, we shouldn't see an image in here, but it should have, like, we should be able to download an image. But we're not getting an image. Was it in here? Ah, but no, that's the one I downloaded off the internet. Well, what the frick? Where's my butts? If I try something else like but, not found. Fair enough. If I do like butts / give them to me, that's fine too, because it matches the thing we put in here, but it's not giving us the thing. You know what I mean? It's not giving us the thing. Now there could be some reasons for this. We might need like a header or something. We might, let's investigate here. We're gonna look at the no, I want you to pull this out. I'm not used to using this in not Chrome, but it should be similar, right? It looks very similar. So we do this. File butts plain transferred 128 bytes. So it's definitely not, wait, 469. Status 469. Was it not a JPEG? Okay, the file might not actually match now that I think about it. But at least we know, this is why you don't use meme numbers in your return codes, because it's confusing. Don't do it. So I mean, if I were to change this to 404, or let's do like an internal server error or something. Because if this file that is supposed to exist doesn't exist, you know, you could consider that a server error, right? So we're gonna maybe push the conf, and then we're going to reload. Yeah, 500 internal server error. That's good. Okay, so this means it tried this file. It didn't find the file, which means that the file is, but it says but it does exist. So, excuse me, but I beg to differ. What if I put it in quotes? Didn't work. Okay. So, Nginx try _files. All right. So, like, let's say that was like 10 minutes of me just freaking around, trying things, and also Googling things, trying to figure out why the hell it doesn't work. And the answer why it doesn't work, here's our normal thing. And butts. It works now. Why? What was the difference? You needed this slash in here. Otherwise, it couldn't find the file. So, okay, you need the freaking slash. Like, if I don't have the slash, it doesn't realize that I want to get the file named but.jpg in the directory of donkey. What? Sometimes this shit really pisses me off. But you know what? It's all learning experience. I'm learning as everyone else who's watching this is learning. And it's great. Beautiful. Okay, so, and the way, the thing I wanted to demonstrate was the fact that it matches, anything that matches this first part is going to hit this location. So, I mean, I could add more. I could add buts, wanna, bro, it would still match. I could put some more slashes in here. Dot, slash, not a butt, dot JPEG. It's still going to give you a butt, right? That's how this location thing works with just the URI. And if it doesn't match butts, it's going to go to this one. So if it were just butt, then it's going to hit this location and it's not going to find butt. Oh, don't do that. That was my, I need to put a new battery into my wireless keyboard. That's what that was. 1 second. All right. And if I do butt.jpg, which one do you think this is? You think it's this one or this one? The answer is it's this one, right? Because it's not butts, it's butt.jpg. So it's going to hit this location and it's going to look for butt.jpg, which it will find because that's the name of the file. And so we get the file that way. So we can get at the file from here. We can get at the file from here. It's all good. All right. So what other cool stuff can we do, bro? Well, let's see here. I think I might have shown this before, but we can return a code directly. We can return like a status code 200. Does that work? Why? Yeah, okay. That's good. So if I do this and then I do butts, you have chosen to open butts, which is application octet stream 0 bytes. No, cancel. So what it does here, it returns a 200, which says, okay, here's your response, but we don't really know what kind of response it is. Like, for example, I could put some content here. Here's the butts. And if I do that, it should give me the same deal. And it's going to say there's 16 bytes, which is how many characters in that message, I assume. And I could save the file somewhere. And I could, yeah, here's butts. And let's open it with Notepad. And it says, here's the butts. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to tell the thing, okay, no, I don't want to download that as a file. I want you to put that in the browser. Well, there's a way we could do that. So, Nginx return text download file and header. So, how can I make sure that Nginx serves plain text files as a download instead of inline? Okay, this is the opposite of what we want. Add header, content disposition, and we want the one for text. No, not octet stream. That's what we have. We want the other one. How to reply to one from Nginx without serving a file. Ah, here we go. This is exactly what we want. Add header, content type plain text. All right. So we want to tell this bad boy. Okay, so we're going to return status code of 200. We're going to return a little bit of, we're going to return some bytes. Those bytes should be interpreted by the browser as plain text. So if we do this, where's my thing? Where's my thing? Butts. Yeah, here's the butts. So there we go. We've told the browser this is text, and it says, cool. I'm just going to put that right in the window there for you. All right. So, I mean, you can do cool things like that. Cool. What else could we do? Let me show you one little pitfall, I guess. So we'll just go back to what we had before there. And we're gonna edit our index, our file here. And we're gonna do image source is equal to butt.jpg. alt. It's a but. So if I open this, wrong browser. If I open this, welcome to Donkey Fartbot, but there's no, Yo, but dude, where's the but.jpg? Yeah, I would hope maybe if I press F5. Yeah, okay. So that was the cached HTML. We could set the headers so that it doesn't cache the HTML, but whatever. So yeah, here's our but in our HTML file. Now, if I were to change this, no, not that. If I were to change this and say, okay, we only have one web page, index.html. So whatever URI they try to hit, let's just make them redirect to index.html. That way, they'll never get a 404. Be foolproof. Nothing could possibly go wrong. So we're just going to try file index.html. And if that doesn't exist for some reason, that's a server error, we're going to say. Cool. Cool. Do that. We open our page. Okay, so this is probably the cached version. Let's press Alt or Control F5. And where did our image go? We only see the text from our alt. It's a but. Well, here's the problem. We could probably see in the no. But.jpg is a 200. That seems wrong. No, it seems right. So what happened? Well, the browser downloaded the index file, and no matter what the browser tries to access, it's going to get index.html. So it gets index.html. Inside of index.html, there is an image. So the browser goes to download the image. But no matter what it accesses, it only gets index.html. So this 200 here, it's actually just downloading. It's asking for but.jpg. It gets our index.html. We can tell that because we can see that the amount of bytes transferred is exactly the same as was transferred for when it accessed the index. And same for the favicon. It's just going to get a bunch of text from my HTML file. So if we look at but.jpg and we look at response, let me see, response. Yeah, it just gets this. There's the preview. I wonder if I could see the payload. Yeah, here's what the response was. You access but.jpg, you get a bunch of HTML. No matter what you access, you get a bunch of HTML. So that's why it's probably not a good idea to do something like this. But there are situations where you want to redirect a whole bunch of different URIs to a single resource. So this is a thing that you want to do, but you just have to be careful about it because you might redirect things that you weren't trying to redirect. So this may or may not become pertinent when we start to do stuff with PHP. But anyways, yeah, put that back to where it was, refresh, there's the monkey butt. Beautiful. All right, so that's mostly what I wanted to do, just playing around with these configurations, getting a little more up and close and personal with the directives. Location, so there's this one, which is the prefix location. Whatever, when the first part of the URI matches, it will match this one. The longest one that matches is the one that gets executed. There are other ways of doing this. There's one, I think, is location, and you put a tilde. And what that does is, I believe that allows you to do a regex match, regex, regular expression match, which can be powerful, but I don't think we need to do that just yet. So, what do we want to do? What is Chili trying to do? Well, let me think. Let me collect my thoughts here for a second. Well, let me try one more cool thing here, just to show you off something else. So, I want to know Nginx. So, what is the variable for the what do you call them? Query query string, maybe? I don't know. So Nginx has a lot of predefined variables that you can use. Args. Is args? Args? What the frick is that, man? No freaking idea. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna press Control Z a whole bunch of times and see if I can get back to there's the header. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we're not gonna do this. Instead of returning that, we're gonna return some variables and see what they are. So let's try 200 is args. So let's make sure I saved this. And yeah, okay, here's my boy. So butts. Okay, so there's nothing here, nothing. Now let's put a query string in there. And stuff is equal to what? I think that's how queries work? Question mark. Okay, so is args means if there were args, it's going to resolve to a question mark. If not, it's going to be nothing. So what we can do now is we can return args. I keep clicking on the freaking wrong thing. I should just close those windows. They're distracting. So if I go butts stuff equal what? It might have been cached. Let's go Control F5. No, it might be because did I do this? I might not have done that. Let's hit it. Nah, there we go. Stuff equals what? So this query string exists as a variable in here that we can reference, and we can use it, and we could pass it on to different functions or directives, and that could be passed back to the user or whatever. Why am I showing this? It becomes pertinent when you want to use PHP, because when we want to use PHP, Nginx is going to act as a proxy. It's going to accept the initial request, and it's going to have to pass on a bunch of the characteristics of that request on to the actual PHP handler, the fast CGI process manager. So we're going to need to know about these kinds of things. But yeah, I wonder if there's like a way to get like the list of args parsed. I don't think Nginx works like that. Like there are like data types like an array or a list, or you can iterate or loop through them. I don't think that's something that is really a thing in Nginx. It might be, or it might be part of like some kind of module that you can add on. But normally you just want the args as a string and you just pass them on to somewhere else, I guess. Yeah, probably. Cool. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is, I guess we want to get down to the business of getting PHP to work. How do? Well, we got to install, right? So there are many versions of PHP. We usually want, or at least for my personal, I usually want the new shiny things. The new shiny things often aren't available by default on your package manager. So if you just go like apt install php install, you're going to get like some old ass version. Depends on what you're running. You know, if you're running on CentOS and you go yum install, you're probably going to get like some 5.6 or some bullshit like that. But anyways, we want the new shiny thing, but we don't want to build it ourselves because fuck that. So what do we want to do? Well, first we want to add a special repository. So we go apt add repository, prepository. That's close. That's very close. And we probably want to add a sudo onto that. You know what? I just want to become, okay. Apt add repository. Yes, I don't have to put the S in. That's just so it doesn't prompt. And we go PPA, which I think stands for something. Package Premium Aristocrat. And on dredge So this is the one that I use for Debian type things like Ubuntu. And hopefully this works. It seems to work. It's not broken. And it's doing things. So this is going to add this as a repository. So when I want to install stuff, it can look here and it can say, hey, here's PHP 7.4. We got the new shiny thing for you, Chili. And I probably want to do like update. And it'll probably say, okay, here's some stuff from that Andrej, or maybe it won't. Maybe that already happened when I did the other command. I don't know. Anyways, so now we should have available to ourselves some PHP goodness. So how do we install? Well, apt install. Okay, so there are lots of different PHP packages. I could list them all. You know what? Let's try it. I'll freaking wait a second. Let me just look something up. All right, so internet is telling me apt cache, not cached, cache search PHP. This should probably give us too many results because it's going to give us results for all versions. Yeah, that's too many. So we got PHP 8, 7.4, 7.3, 7.2, 7.1. And you can see for each one of these versions, there's lots of freaking options. And most of these are just modules. And probably going to need a few of them. For what we're doing, we're probably not going to need too many because we're not going to be doing too much yet. So what do we need? Well, you know, I usually just install like a bunch of them. And I'm like, I don't even know if I need this, but I'm just going to install anyways. So let's install PHP 7.4 because that seems like something that we're going to need. I don't know if you need it because like there's PHP, there's the command line interface, and then there's the PHP that is going to be executed from Nginx, and they're kind of separate. Like they're configured separately. It's weird. It's kind of weird, right? But anyways, so we're going to get PHP 7.4, and then we're going to get 7.4 FPM. We definitely want FPM because that's what we're going to be. That is what is going to be dynamically generating content for our served web application. What else? Well, PHP 7.4 common. I don't know if I need it, but it seems like something that you would need is common, right? Common sounds like something that you would commonly want to have. I'm just looking through my list of ones that I usually install here and seeing which ones I probably absolutely need. Well, let's get PHP 7.4 CLI because we might want it at some point. It's command line interface, right? Now there are things in here that we probably usually want, like op cache, which is for optimizing, but I don't think we absolutely need it. So this might be the minimum that we need. This might even be more than the minimum, but let's put it in here. Invalid operation. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. You got me. You got me. Yeah, give me all of your PHPs. So we're going to let this install, and it shouldn't take too long because it's just downloading binary stuff, and it's only, 20 megabytes at most. Probably less than that. It's not exactly downloading at a blazing speed, but we'll get there, right? And once we install this, what are we going to do? Well, Php-fpm is a service. So it runs on our machine just like Nginx runs, and it serves requests. So let's see if it's working. Service PHP 7.4 FPM status. It's running. So it is running. I don't know if we actually have to configure it, but let's take a look at where the configuration exists. Well, I mean here, when you run status, it actually tells you. That's kind of cool. It tells you what configuration it's running off of. So let's go cd etc php, and we look in here. We're going to get folders for all the versions that we have installed. Right now we only have 7.4, and then we can look at configuration for FPM and configuration for the command line interface, which are separate, can be configured separately, independently of each other. cd-fpm. So we have php-fpm.conf, cat php-fpm.conf. So this is configuring basically options for the let me see here. I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Global options, log buffering. So this is configuring the FPM, the process manager. So this is not actually configuring PHP itself. That would be in php.ini. So if we want to change the options for the PHP language that are run on our web server, we would edit this file. It's a very long file. Let's cat it. Cat php.ini. You couldn't tell because it happened instantaneously, but it's a very long file. There are many options, as you would expect, because, you know, you're configuring mostly all the different things of the PHP language. php-fpm.conf is the global configuration for the fast process manager that manages all of the workers that process your PHP requests. And then pool.d. So you can have different pools of workers for PHP. And the default one you get, which is www.conf. This pool, I don't even know where the freaking thing starts and stops. But there are many options, logging options. If we go up to the top here, yeah, here it is, www. So there's the name of the pool. The user that it will run as is very important, because when you're setting the permissions for your files in your application, they have to be accessible by this user. This is important. This is a Unix domain socket. It is a file that we can use to connect to this server without having to connect to it via an IP address. It is more efficient to connect via a Unix domain socket. So that's what we're going to be using. So this is very important. I'm actually going to copy this. No, that's not the shortcut for copying on this this program here. It's okay. It's probably somewhere. Anyways, so you can configure your pool that is going to run your www workers for PHP in here. You could have multiple pools. Again, if I go ls, we got one pool. We could put multiple files in here and have different pools for serving different websites or whatever, keeping them separate. We're not going to do that, obviously. We're not going to, hopefully, I don't think we have to change anything in the global FPM configuration. I don't think we have to change anything for the PHP configuration. Here is different module configurations that you can have for PHP. So if I go, let me just go here. If we go cd conf.d, yeah. So these ini files are all for enabling different modules. And I believe here's opcache. That's a weird one because I didn't install opcache. So I wonder if we're going to get like an error or something. Let's just go cat 10 opcache. It says Zend extension equals opcache.so. Maybe it installs it even though I didn't explicitly tell it to install. Maybe it was installed as a dependency of one of the other core PHP packages. I don't know. Or maybe it's going to try to load this and it's not going to exist and it's just going to give a big fat error. Hey, who knows? We're going to have fun. We have fun here, right? Okay. So, we've got php-fpm installed. It's running. It's waiting for requests. How do we tell Nginx to pass on requests to our boy php-fpm? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So, we're going to keep things very simple here. Let's get rid of our index as well. Screw it all. Go to hell. What do we do? So, for any request, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, so we need to set some fast CGI parameters that are going to be used to hand the proxy this request, hand it off to php-fpm. So I believe I know a minimal set of parameters that you have to set. So fast CGI param. So one of the parameters that is definitely required is we have to tell it what kind of request this was. You know, was it a get? Was it a post? Was it a patch? I don't know. Yeah, patch works, right? Just browsers don't make patch requests, but other things can. So the request method is going to be get. We're just going to hard code that. No matter what happens, it's going to be passed on as a get request. What is the other one? Well, fast CGI underscore param. We need to tell it what is the script file, the PHP file that needs to be run. And we're going to hard code that to var www html donkey donk.php. Okay, so this is the PHP file that we're going to run. No matter what URI we pass in, no matter what request method, it's going to be php-fpm is going to execute donk.php. And the last thing, fast CGI pass, we need to tell it, okay, well, where are we going to actually proxy this request to? We got to tell it who is it going to be handling. It's not guaranteed that it's going to be php-fpm, right? We could be passing off to Ruby, which I believe is passenger or something like that. I don't know what it's called. We could be passing it on to, you know, a CGI gateway script written in C, right? Could be anything. So we got to tell it where to give this thing. We're going to say, okay, we got a Unix socket for you. It's got under var run php 7.4 phpfpm.sock. So this is that file that I showed you somewhere in this thing here. Yeah, I tried to copy it. It didn't work. But anyways, doesn't matter. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. So this should pass on any request to our boy donk.php. So we need our boy donk.php. Let's do it. We'll make a new PHP file. Name is donk. Badonk, and we're just going to do echo. Schmecko. Yeah. There you go. So if this works, we might see Schmecko in the window, or Schmecko might come up as a download because we didn't set the header. But basically, whatever is output from this output, I think it goes maybe through Nginx and then is returned back to us, back to the browser. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shite. So first off, we changed our configuration here. So I want to make a symbolic link to donk var www html. Now we'll just call it HTML. Yeah, then we can go cd HTML. Why is it not registering? I think I did it backwards. I often do it backwards. So let's try this the other way around. Var www.html. This is the target then, I guess. And this is the name of this symbolic link. And then if I go cd HTML, there we go. And I go ls, and I can find I have a broken symbolic link in here. So I go rm HTML. Good. Okay. Now, we need water because we're feeling a little bit parched. And then, what's next? We want to run push conf, push Nginx. Didn't like it. Did not like it. Job failed because control process exited with error code. Okay. Let's take a look, see if there's anything obvious in here. I deleted the index. I do not believe that should be a problem. I believe it defaults to index.html anyways. What else? fcgi pass Unix var run php 7.4 pm suck dunk. I forgot to tell it that the thing that we're passing, the fast CGI param, the parameter is script file name. Yeah, that's the parameter for your information, sir. So, how do you like them apples? Much better. Okay, now, can we get a donk in chat, please? Donk. Schmecko. There you go. So, what has happened here? There's a whole bunch of orchestration that happened here. We made a request to Nginx. Nginx proxied that request to PHP Fast Process Manager, who then said, okay, I'm going to give this to one of my workers in my pool of workers. Worker got the thing, got the name of the script file, loaded that PHP file, executed it, took the result, passes it back to Nginx, who passes it back to our browser. We give it to us, and it comes out as text. We didn't even have to set the header. Maybe it sets a header automatically. I don't know. I imagine it probably does, because if it didn't, the browser wouldn't know. So, what's this? Schmecko. Headers. Response headers. gzip. So it actually returned it as zipped. The content type was text HTML. I guess that's just the default, I guess. And Bob's your uncle, right? Bob is indeed your uncle in this case. Now this is boring, but it's a start, right? We could do whatever we want. Now whatever junk we put in here, it's always going to execute the same PHP file because that's what we set up in our thing here. And there are many things, like, let's say we want to run a script and we want to process stuff depending on, query parameters. That's something you often want to do in a script. There's query parameters, you use those to parameterize some dynamic execution. Only, let's try it out. Let's freaking try it out. I don't have to do I don't have to explain with words when I can explain with showing you things. Echo. So in PHP, you've got global variables. And one of those things you're going to get is get. So you'll have an array of all of the get things. And let's try to get ASDF. So we're asking for the query parameter ASDF. What is that? Let's just echo that back out to the user. And if it doesn't exist, no, I didn't tell my IDE that we're in PHP 7.4, so it doesn't like this. But don't worry, it'll work. If it doesn't exist, then we'll just go poopy. Because it doesn't exist, trust me. So if we do this, we run it, poopy, right? Even though we do have a query in here, ASDF, it doesn't find the query. In fact, we could do, let's see here, print R, which is like a variable dump, pront. He's pront. What a retard. So let's print R, everything in the global get array. Let's do it. It's empty. I don't know what that one is there. That's kind of weird. Odd. Anyways. Why? Well, because... No, not because of that. Here. So this is the very minimum of parameters that need to be passed over to PHP to get it to do something, but there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle missing here. So we're not passing the query parameters on to PHP, and so it doesn't get them, and that's a problem because you probably do want to give it them. In fact, there are many things you want to pass on to php-fpm, and you have to do it in here. But good news. The good news is we don't really have to do it that hard. What does chili mean here? It's probably easier if I just show you. So there exists in Nginx. In here, there exists a configuration called fastcgi.conf, and we could include this. Let's try it out. Cat. So this configuration file has a lot of fastcgi parameters set up for us. And so, for example, the script file name is the document root concatenated with fastcgi script name. Script name is just fastcgi script name. So, for example, if we look in here, query string. So it passes that through. Request method, content type, all that good stuff. It just passes that all in there, all up in that butt. So let me just copy this. All we got to do is include fastcgi.conf, and Bob is indeed your uncle. So include fastcgi.conf. So I think this might work, maybe not, maybe I need like a... Alright, so apparently the root for this stuff is just the folder, the path where fastcgi.conf exists, so we don't need that ... But if we include this now, we don't need this. This is done. We do need this. Let's put that at the end. Now, script file name. So this is already being set in fastcgi. .conf here, and it's a concatenation of document root and fastcgi script name. Now, I don't know where this comes from, but I want to try to set it ourselves. So let's try it out. Set fastcgi script name. I believe this is the syntax, and the script name is going to be donk.php. So we're set the script name to be whatever, but all the other things will be as they were. So the query parameter should get passed through, but I don't know if Nginx is going to like this, because this might, like, if this is a variable that is already defined and then we try to redefine it, maybe it'll get pissed off. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a super expert. I should be freaking obvious at this point, but I'm not a super expert in Nginx. So I just try things and see what breaks. Often it is almost all of the things that break, but eventually we find our way through. So we need to restart. Frick, now I gotta go back. So I did that for, if I do tilde, HTML, yeah, okay. /push Nginx, and it didn't work. I sort of expected it not to work. This is gonna bust my balls a little bit, I feel. How to get it to always use donk.php as the script name. That is going to be my downfall. So when we have problems, what do? There are a few things we could try to do. One of them is to read these things in here. So system control status nginx.service. I could use the secret technique. Middle mouse click. Okay. What is your problem, my dude? Nginx, invalid number of arguments in fast CGI param directive. Okay. Okay. Where? Sites enabled donkey.fart 11. Include fastcgi.conf. So that's not a fast CGI param directive, my dude. What if I didn't save this? What if I needed to save it before I needed to do that? Yeah, it didn't help. Okay. Same problem. Okay. Emergency, the duplicate variable. Okay, so this is what I was expecting. Duplicate. So here's the thing. I don't want to duplicate it. I just want to freaking overwrite it or override it. How do fast CGI underscore script underscore name. So we need to understand where this comes from. Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where do you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Nope, not Vagrant. Not nah. There. Okay. Please. Fast CGI param script file name. Yeah. Okay, it's cool. We already. I want to set this or override that. So instead of overriding it, we want to override maybe the directives that use it. Use it. So what does that mean? What's Chili trying to say? Well, we got to go back to the shitty games that suck ass. No, that's not how you do that. And fast.conf. And it's not a directory, my dude. So let's try to do this. And then we do that. Fast.conf. Yeah. Okay. So who uses fast CGI script name? You use it. You use it. So the question is, can we override these? Because I don't want to edit this file. I mean, I could. There's nothing stopping me from doing it. I just don't want to. So script underscore file name and script underscore name. And we wanted document root. Okay. Script file name, script name. I don't know if script name is strictly necessary, but it wouldn't do to ignore it. So let's give it a shot. We include this. Now we want to override. We're going to get rid of this because this is no bueno. We're going to copy this. Tabby. And we're going to, where is it? Where's my dude? Copy this. Okay. Now, I don't need these. I don't need your formatting. Your fancy ass formatting. Document root. I want to see if I can concatenate a quoted string with something like this, because I haven't tried that before. So, document root plus donk.php And this one is just going to be donk.php. All right, if this doesn't work, we can create a variable, we can put in here, it'll be all good. You're gonna like the way you look. So if it works the way I hope it does, we include this, that sets these things. Then we do a couple of things here that override these things in here. And fast CGI doesn't scream at us, doesn't shit the bed, and everything works exactly as I want it to. Tilde, no, we want a cd, tilde html /push. Worked. That's a very good first start. The fact that it worked, it's the friends we made along the way, if you know what I'm trying to say. So, let's run this. File not found. Okay. That's significantly worse than what we had before. So now it's not finding shit. Script name donk.php. Document root donk.php. So first thing I want to try, maybe this doesn't work. So var www html donkey donk.php. We're just going to put that in here. We're going to put that there. This is here. This is there. Save that. Now I have to go back to my other. No, I don't. I'm in there already. Restart that. Run that. Okay, so now it works. So it didn't like the trying to concatenate the variable with the quoted string. So that's fine. What can we do about that? Well, we can do set php velocity to be donk.php, and then we can do document root concatenated with php velocity, and then this one can just be php philosophy. And then when we want to change the name of the file, we can just change it in one place, and it changes here and here. That's beautiful. One thing, I just want to make sure that the name of that thing was actually document root. And I believe that I am not going insane. So, let's try this out, because this is better than what we had before. We want to restart. Didn't get an error. That's amazing. Now, can we still access? File not found. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. I don't know why this doesn't work. I think this should work. But also, I don't think it's in our best interest today to waste 10 minutes trying to figure out why it doesn't work. I think we should just get on with the show. So, put that back the way it is. Now you work. Now let's see if we can get our freaking query. Query? No. What in the butt? You guys all remember the thong song? Dumps like a truck. What? There you go. Here is our query parameters, all parsed and given to us in the form of an associative array. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's working. That's working amazingly. So, one last thing we want to do. This is the rite of passage of getting PHP up and running. No, it's not this. Getting PHP up and running on any server is you have to run Php Info. So if we run this function, it should output cool things, cool beans, and we will see what we will see. So there you go. Here's your Php info. It tells you much info about the PHP. We're running version 7.4.13. And here are INI files that are parsed. Good information here. Apparently we're running opcache. I didn't have to install it, but it just gets in there. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's that. PHP is running. We can now use it. And that will be a nice starting point for, the next time we try to screw around with this bullshit. But I think we're done for today. We've accomplished a lot, which is to say we didn't accomplish that much, but I had a good time doing it. Learned a couple of things. I hope you learned a couple of things too. And we're making progress. Soon we will have fun making dumb bullshit that will be able to be, deployed onto the web, accessed by the masses. It's a good time. But until then, thanks for watching. Yada, yada, yada. I'm Chili. See ya.